Okay, we are at the 53rd annual Roundup. It's hosted by Capital A's of Sacramento and under the auspices of the Northern California Regional Group, which is known as the NCRG. In 1962, there was a national convention of the Model A Ford Club of America, and it was held in San Francisco, and those attending were having such a good time they decided to have a regional meet. There was no NCRG at the time, but they started having a meet every year, and they call it the Roundup. And it's attended by people with Model A Fords, and many of us over the years have become really good friends, and they're well attended. Anyhow, in the early 70s, the Northern California Regional Group was formed, and there's 28 chapters today in Northern California. Most of us are active. We had 19 of 28 come to a meeting this morning in Sacramento. We do usually have a welcome reception on the first evening when we get here, and there are seminars the next day. There is fashion judging for the years 1928 to 1931. The cars, we have blue ribbon judging. That's how they came off of the assembly line at the Ford Motor Company or at the assembly plants scattered around the country and around the world, actually. There's also blue ribbon judging. Okay, then there's touring class, which allows a few things. Basically, it's the same as a blue ribbon car, except it's you can have an overdrive or things like that. Then there's also a modified class. It's scored on a little different system. And now there's a new class that's called Restorers class, which is basically cars that are driven that aren't necessarily cleaned up because they're on the road. So it's something that just came about in the last couple of years, and it's being worked out to be another event. Anyhow, they do a grand tour. They usually have local self-guided tours. We've been to so many places in Northern California, including Lake Tahoe. I'm from Sonoma A's. We've hosted a couple of roundups. Santa Clara Valley down in the South Bay, and next year we go to Modesto, and Modesto has hosted, I believe that'll be their 6th time, maybe 7th time. Capital A's have done this 7 times, so there's a lot of smaller clubs. Maybe they have 10 or 12 members or 20 members, and they participate when they can. Anyhow, Model A hobby is a great hobby. The cars are, compared to other classic cars, are very reasonable to buy. Personally, I have a 29 Roadster that we've been cross-country on. We've been to Dallas in the heat of summer and up to Canada a bunch of times. These cars are dependable to a point. I have a Babbitt engine that has over 60,000 miles on it now. That's amazing.
Good job. That is amazing.
We also have an overdrive in it from Mitchell Manufacturing. We have their transmission, which gives you second and high gear in synchromesh, so you don't have to double clutch. It's an amazing combination because there's no loss of momentum when you're going over the Rockies or the Sierras. You just shift quickly. So anyhow, a lot of good things out there. There's people have different ideas of what their car should be. If you have a stock one, it's just fine. If you have one that you modified, that's your prerogative. Anyhow, there's a lot of websites available, and Model A Ford Club of America. There's some links to different places you can go. The NCRG has a website, ncrgmodca.com. Sonoma A's, we are Sonoma Model A Ford, or excuse me, SonomaModel.com. Check us out. A lot of photos, stuff that clubs do, and we're pretty typical. We have about 100 families in our club, and we just like to have fun. So anyhow.